from George Lockyer. I'm a carpenter. If you've got any sort of drill that's maybe a year or two old and you don't find it's performing as well as it used to, the simple answer for that is you need more grease in the gears inside the drill. But if you have a brush drill, check the brushes first, make sure that they're in a good state, because if they're worn out or worn down, sometimes that can lead to poor performance as well. I'll get these cracked open and show you just a couple of examples of what it will look like inside. If you haven't taken your drills apart before, take your time, don't rush it, because there's a lot of little bits in there and you don't want any of them just falling apart, because then you've just got to try and find out how to put it back together again. Just take note of when you're taking it apart where everything goes. The grease I use inside the drills is, I got this LM47 stuff from Amazon. It was about £5 or £6. That works quite well, it's a thicker grease. But I've also used this white lithium grease, which you picked up just in your sort of normal tool shop. But this also works quite well. But I do think the thicker grease is better. And if you're going to invest in something, invest in like a little syringe that you can get the grease into it and then inject it into it. It just gets into the gun a bit further. Also, if you have got an impact driver or impact wrench and you find that the impact noise is constant, so even when it's not under load it's still making that impact noise, greasing the gears as well will resolve that problem, because I had that same issue with this, and once I greased up the gears inside, the issue went away. Another thing worth using whilst you're inside the drill is get yourself a little dust brush, whether it's a toothbrush or any other sort of little paintbrush. This particular one is from Amazon. It was only a few quid. The brand's Oxo. It's got a little soft rubber tip on the end. I've got two drills here just as an example. They all come in different shapes and sizes. Your insides of your drills may differ slightly, but the principle is basically the same. So just take your time with it, don't rush it, and just keep an eye on where you put your screws and where you took them out of. The first example I'm going to show you is the impact driver. This is what mine looks like. As you can see, it's a sealed unit and I don't really know how to take it apart completely, but you can still perform the maintenance if yours is similar to this. And as you can see, if I can zoom in enough, you can see the gears in there. If I rotate it around, you should be able to see it. The light's quite poor in here, but you get the idea. So if you can spray a load of lubricant inside it, whether it is something like this, which is in the tube, the lithium grease, which you can just get deep in there, spray it all around, or like I said before, use that LM47 grease in a syringe and just get a long nose syringe and just inject it inside it. Plenty of grease, you can't go too far wrong with more grease, and that should resolve any issues if you do have the impact noise constant on it. And also if you've got an older drill, that should definitely speed it up. If you wanted to, you could record it before and after of it and you should hear the sound difference in it. It sounds a lot faster. That's it for this one, and I'll open up the other one. The Combi drill's a little bit more involved. Like when you open it up, there's a lot more gears there, they come out loose. I'll show you the next drill. This is what the Combi drill looks like inside. As you can see, there's this unit here which is screwed in. If I take that out, take the switch off the top, as you can see with this one, you can see the gears in here. You could potentially do similar to what I did with the impact driver without having to strip it apart completely. You could probably fit your syringe in or grease in the top here, though I'm not sure it's going to do as great a job as taking it apart completely and getting to more of the innards. But if you wanted to give that a go, you can, and if it works, great. But if not, on this particular one, I've got 4 screws here to undo. I'll undo them now and then show you the inside of it. Right, so here we go. This is it as I take it off. If it is a drill that's a year or two old or even older, just be aware that it won't have any lubrication inside or grease, so all the little bearings and stuff may potentially be loose. This one, I've taken it apart before and it's been greased, so I know that it's not going to completely fall apart, but I'll just lift it up now. You can see the innards of it. So you can see in here, you can pop some grease inside here, and then on all these gears here. If I flip it over, I put your hand on top of it and then lift. And that's essentially inside there. You can see your bearings in there, and that's what would come out if there wasn't grease underneath them, they can just fall out. So just be aware of that. That's where they go back in, just a dab of grease, and they should stick back in place again. As you can see, this is already nice and well greased inside. You can see just inside here, there's grease inside here. And you've got, on my particular one, these are loose, so just go careful when you put these back in. Make sure they're back in place. You can grease all these up nicely, and then that should get you back to peak performance. If when you're putting your drill back together, just be aware there's normally like a notch or something that indicates where to put the drill back together in. You can see there's a slight notch here, and on the drill itself you can see the notch just there, and so you'll just line those up to get them back in. So if you're struggling to get this to go back together, see this isn't completely flat through here, what you can do is get yourself your screwdriver, just pop it in the top, just give the gears a little wiggle round, and they should start to fall in place. And then if you go from underneath and just maneuver the chuck back and forth, it will eventually snap back into place. Hopefully you found this video informative and helpful, and it's helped you get your tool back up and running again properly. If you have liked it, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching.